Does anyone else find this quite funny? Because, I find this quite funny. Hello everybody, Sibling Power here, and today I am back with another Minecraft video, and today I am doing a Minecraft's pro tip video, and if, I haven't done one of these in a while, so if you don't know what pro tips are, I don't blame you, because I've gotten a lot of new subscribers since I did my last pro tips video. What I do in pro tips is I kind of go around and I show off things that are a little less known. Things that, like, are not necessarily difficult to know things, but things that some people might not know. So, just to be on the safe side, I'll go over all the stuff. So today, we are going to be looking at Rails and how to work Rails. In fact, villagers here might be a problem. Hold on. I will deal with the villager problem and be right back. Okay, everyone, the villagers are dealt with. I have sent them off to vacation. Pay no attention to that. Okay, so we are going to continue on our journey. And today, as I said, we are going to be looking at Rails. So let's go. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the basis of basic Rails. And these are the Rails that I'll be showing off in the first basic little section. And that is powered Rails and normal Rails. So if we go ahead and place Rails. By the way, I'm marking stations with diamond blocks. So, we want to get from station to station. So that's what the diamond blocks will be for. Okay, so this is the basis of Rails. If you don't know Rails, the crafting recipes can be found online. Just search them up. But I'm going to go over all their basic functions. So this is the basis of Rails. You can put minecarts on them, and you can move with the arrow keys. It's not an especially fast form of travel, and it's a very limited form of travel, because minecarts cannot be placed on normal blocks. They can only be placed on rails, but, there are ways to speed this travel up, and that is with the use of the second type of rail that I had in that chest, powered rails. Powered rails can be used as a form of propulsion and have to be powered to function. So as you can see, powered, unpowered, powered, unpowered. There's a difference between powered and unpowered that we'll be going over later. But for now, worry about the fact that they are powered. So what you can do is you can actually place powered rails and place minecarts on them, and they will launch minecarts forward. Now, let's say you didn't have enough powered rails to get you all the way to the other side, and you only had one powered rail, so the thing is not going to go all the way. Oh no. Well, you kind of fix that by placing more powered rails down every now and then, so you'll have a constant power, essentially. Okay, so yeah, so that's how you speed up travel in minecarts. It's a pretty simple concept there. And that's pretty much the entirety of the concept of the powered rail and the rail, and that is that they can be placed on the ground, and powered rails can be powered. But obviously, this wouldn't be a tutorial if there wasn't a lot more to it. And there is more to it. So if we just follow the yellow brick road here, we're going to get to tutorial part 2. And that is, rails do not need to go straight. Rails can curve. But the thing is, actually, I was going to go place these back because I don't need these ones anymore. We're moving on to the second part. Okay, so as you can see, for this one, I will need powered rails, blocks of redstone, and rails. Now, there's a reason I'm using blocks of redstone is because I'm showing off another aspect. I should always keep minecarts in me, shouldn't I? So I'm going to show off another aspect of rails. So, as you know, you can place powered rails at a station and then power it with, let's say, a redstone torch right next to it. But let's say you didn't want to do this, because this might not look the best. You can actually power a powered rail section by doing that. And as you can see, I like the look of that better. If you place a redstone block under each one, it looks even better, because, ooh, mystical. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. But now, let's say you want to get to this station. You can't go diagonally, so what are you going to do? So what you got to do instead is you have to use normal rails. Because here's the thing, redstone or powered rails cannot actually turn. As you see, they kind of zigzag. I think technically this can be used. I think this is possible to ride on, or it might just mess up. Yeah, it just kind of sends you off the side. So if you want to do that, normal rails are the only type that can do that. They can bend. And so you can ride along and you'll be on the bend and you won't fly off the end. So yeah, rails are the only thing that can bend. So if you're wondering about that, then yeah, don't wonder anymore. Normal rails can bend, redstone rails cannot. And that's pretty much all I need to show you with that. Should probably keep that on me. Yes, okay. And now we are moving on. Sorry if I'm like sniffling. I do in fact have a cold. That's kind of why I didn't post on, I was like scantily posting, not really posting much because of the cold. Okay, so for number 3 here, I'm going to show off another aspect of redstone that's more of just a trivial thing. And that is redstone and rails do not act the same. If I place levers next to each one and I light up the redstone first, as you can see, the power stretches to this. And that is the 15th redstone block out. And it can affect, if I place something redstone-y here, it will affect the 16th. That's why I said 15/16, because it can technically affect the 16th, but it only stretches to the 15th. So that's kind of why redstone works that way. However, powered rails do not act the same. Powered rails, if we click that, stretch much shorter. The power stretches much shorter, and they can affect the block on their end. So, yeah, 9 blocks. Powered rails power can only go through rails 9 blocks. So redstone is a more efficient way of transferring power. Not that these rails can transfer power. I mean, you can't put power into redstone from rails. It doesn't work that way. But yeah, if you were just a word of note there, that power only moves 9 blocks, so you'll need to renew the signal after 9 blocks to get it the rest of the way. So rail power is not necessarily easy to work with, but it is pretty nice. Let's put the lever back in there, and now we are going to move on. Let's just set the time so we have nice brightness. Okay, so if we go ahead and move on to tutorial part 4, we are just moving along here. I'm going to show off this aspect. So let's say you have 2 stations. And you kind of want to be able to switch which one you're going to. Now, you can do this. Now, it is a little bit buggy in the sense that you have to be careful as to what direction you build, because if we pull up F3 here and then go in here and pull out these items, and we place a rail here. As you can see, the rail attached this way. That's because for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why this occurs, rails do not like to attach. Do like to turn things. What's weird? Okay, but yeah, as you saw there, what was happening? You saw what was happening there, and that's kind of what happens. And that is, if you go ahead and place a rail, and then you place a lever, the rail will actually switch which track it's attached to. Now, for reasons I don't quite understand, rails only enjoy like turning based on where their lever is. So like if you have it this way, then the rail can only turn like that. Which is okay, but the thing is, it means you can never get back into this station unless you go to this station first. So it's not always the best, but yeah, so it means that I think the rails always like to face based on where their lever is. Yeah, okay, so the rails only like to be like flippy based on where their lever is. But this is a feature of curved rails, and that is they can be transferred based with a lever, which means that if I go ahead and I want to get, okay, probably should not place until I get, let's say I want to get to this station, then I have it set to that, and I'll just hop in and I'll go to that station. Let's say I want to get to that station. I'll flip it. Now, this is an interesting feature. This is a feature that I haven't showed that I can show you now. And that is if you run onto a curved rail, even though it's not connected, you'll continue going straight. But you will not be able to go the other way. Like the curved rail will send you off in that direction. But if you hit it from this side, it will continue straight. So as you can see, boop, I kind of glitched there because whenever you hit a curved rail, it thinks it wants to go this way, but it doesn't. So it kind of glitches a little bit whenever you hit it, but beyond that, it keeps you going straight. But as I just said, it will not let you go that way. So that's the feature of curved rails that can form roller coasters that never end. That's how you. So yeah, if you want to use this tutorial to help you figure out rail mechanics for roller coaster building, you can make a roller coaster which never ends by making the on-ramp run into a curved rail, and it will not be able to actually stop. So yeah, that's pretty much the feature of the rail's ability to turn. And now we are going to go into the final basic tutorial. Then I'm going to go into an advanced round that's kind of a bit more tactical. Okay, and that is what happens if you need to stop abruptly. Like, because there's really not a good way to stop minecarts here. If I go back actually to our little rail system and I want to stop, I can't really control. I was holding on the backwards button. It doesn't really work. And you don't want to always just jump out. So what's a good way to stop? Well, actually, unpowered rails acts as brakes. So let's say you really want to stop because there's lava in the way. You just stop. If this was normal track, you would continue on into a lava-y doom. So yeah. So powered rails, if they are unpowered, act as brake pads. So you can stop very quickly. That is kind of another way you can actually end a roller coaster is make it so that when they get back, the starting rails are unpowered, so it just kind of stops them. So that's how you make a roller coaster that can be continued on and on if you wish. But that's pretty much the entirety of the feature I wanted to show you there, and that is special powered rails that stop you. And now we're going to move on to the final aspect of rails, and that is the advanced round. So there's a lot of stuff in here, because there's a lot of stuff to go over, a lot of new types of rails. So, yeah, so there's a lot of types of rails. As I said, I have a cold, I'm a bit sniffly. Try to ignore the sniffles. Okay, so, yeah, this is actually a few more types of rails. First, I'm going to go over these types of rails. So, for this, I'm going to need redstone. I'm going to need redstone lamps. Redstone repeaters. Minecarts. Okay. So, yeah, let's go over this. And I'll probably need powered rails. And torch. Okay, so let's go. We're going to go over this now. So, as you can see, if I go ahead and place some powered rails down, power them up, and then set this out, we're going to go over the types of rails. So there are two main types of rails that were not covered: detector rails and activator rails. Now, activator rails kind of act pretty interestingly in that they need to be powered to do much. Detector rails do not need to be powered. Detector rails act as a power source. They will send out redstone when a minecart runs over them. So we're going to show you those. Detector rails, they output a redstone for a little bit, kind of like a button when a Minecraft runs over them, so they are a minecart button. Activator rails can be used for other things, which we will go over in a little bit. Just note that activator rails are a special track which can be powered. So, yeah, that's pretty much the tracks. Yeah, okay, so yeah, those are the tracks. Next we're going to go over, what are we going to go over next? There's a lot of things. Okay, minecarts with chest, minecart with TNT, minecart with furnace, and minecart with hopper. So we're going to go over the types of minecarts now. So probably need rails for this. Don't need the redstone. Okay, so we are going to go over the types of minecarts. So let's go ahead and make a little bit of a loop here with the tracks. And we're just going to kind of place the things out. Okay, so these are the types of minecarts which have special features to them. The minecart with a hopper can act just like a hopper. If you know what a hopper does, it picks up items that is thrown at it and holds them. And in fact, if I pull out a normal hopper here, it acts quite interestingly with hoppers. So if I go ahead, pull out a normal hopper, place the hopper so that it's facing into this block, and place a chest there, then shift and place a rail over that, and throw in the redstone, the chest, and the hopper, and then push it over, it will drop out items as based on, I think it drops out one item every tick. Oh, I gotta be careful with that. It drops out one item every tick for however long it's sitting on the rail. So you can kind of tell it to drop its items into a hopper that it runs over. We're going to have to stop you, sir. Nah, you're running all over the place. Okay. Okay, so we are fixed. Okay, so minecart with chest, it's kind of an obvious thing. Storage. It's a storage minecart. You can store things in your minecarts. So that's pretty much all that is. Minecart with furnace is interesting. If I right click this, it will begin to move. And it will move for a little bit. And then it will stop. And then it will move a little bit. And it will stop. And if I go ahead and take coal, I will right click it. And it will continue to move. And it will move longer. Like, as you can see, it will move a little bit longer than if I just right-clicked it normally. That's because these things are essentially trains. They take coal, and if you keep right-clicking it, I think it goes longer. Nope. Just doesn't do much. Okay, so yeah, they're like trains, and they also smoke too, so it's pretty interesting. Beyond that, kind of does nothing. However, I think if a normal minecart hits it, it gets propelled pretty far. If a normal minecart hits a stalled one, then it will stop. Yep, okay, it just bounces off. These things can't be moved by other minecarts like, other minecarts can. These things are kind of indestructible. They can be pushed by the player, though, and they can be right-clicked to make them move forward. So that is one of the interesting features of minecart with furnace, and that's pretty much all that they actually do. Now, minecart with TNT... I will need to go and be very careful with. If I go ahead and pull out that activator rail that we saw earlier, and I get a redstone torch, and I go ahead out to where I was testing this earlier, and I throw down these items here, power this, and then power this, send it out a little bit further, and then place this there. You're going to see what's going to happen if it runs over that activator rail. Actually, I'm going to show you what happens if it runs over it with no power first. Nothing at all. It just kind of continues. If it runs over a powered activator rail, though, things kind of go nuts. It does ignite. And it will explode. Boom. Okay, so yes, it will explode. And for some reason, they don't destroy rails. That's interesting. I've noticed that the minecarts with TNT will not blow up the rails that they are on for reasons I don't know. But still, that's just, I think it's to make sure that they don't blow up the transportation system. But beyond that, I don't actually know much about them, because this is kind of a weird block. Although I do know if they are rammed into another minecart with TNT hard enough, then they will actually explode, which is awesome. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make them explode. Let's go ahead and make it explode. Let's see if this actually works. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, so let's try again. I think it has to actually be able to push this one a little bit. I don't think it can because the freaking pig got in the way. Okay. I know this works because it did it earlier. Let's try again. Maybe this needs to be able to be pushed a little bit. Push it. Come on, explode. Detonate. I know you detonate because you detonated earlier. Oh, okay. There it goes. Yeah. It's kind of random, but they do actually detonate if they run into each other. So I think that's a very interesting feature. Okay, so now that we've gone over kind of the minecarts and their basic features, we're going to go over some interesting things you can do with the minecarts. Let's grab a dispenser. Let's go ahead and grab some minecarts, and let's grab a lever. And this is one thing you can do with a dispenser, with the minecarts, is that you can actually go ahead and place a minecart down with the dispenser. If you click it, it will place a minecart down. It will actually seemingly place them on top of each other, which is interesting. Ooh, I think I know it. I think I know a trick I can do with this. Hold on. I know a trick I can do with this. Okay, so I just thought of this, by the way. This is something I just thought of that will probably be absolutely hilarious if it works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a few hoppers. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to fill up these hoppers. Hold on a second. Okay, I am back. And as you can see, I've kind of filled up everything here. I want to see if this works. Because if this works, I think I can do something really funny with it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and place that. And then we're going to go ahead and take some more powered rails. And we're going to just kind of send it off. Okay, so if I put a lever here, I can power the rails. Not quite. Alright, there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this a couple times over. Yeah. Come on, work for me. Okay, so there we are. I've used up all of the minecart with TNT. Now if I go ahead and push this. Yes! You can make a mega explosion. Okay, so yeah, if you stack those, they will combine all their explosive power and make a mega explosion, which is kind of fun. So yeah. You can do that with dispensers. You can place a bunch of minecarts with hoppers in the minecarts, not with hoppers, but with TNT, and you can make a mega explosion, which is fun. So yeah, missed it. So yeah, that's the basic function of dispensers with minecarts, of any kind of minecart. And I think I'm going to show you one more function. Well, technically two more functions, and that is with mobs, minecarts, and tracks. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead, and you probably saw this in the intro. And that is that mobs can be moved into minecarts and can be these can be interacted with in any way. But I think if you run over an activated activator rail, then the mobs will actually be kicked out of the minecart. Yep, you see, it does get kicked out. If you so that's a feature you can do with mobs that can be used to actually do mob farms. So I've seen it done before, so don't say that can't be done. It's been done before. Okay, so yeah, you can do that, and I believe these can pick up any mob. So these can hold. However, I think if it's a mob that burns in sunlight, minecarts will not protect it from sunlight, so it'll burn. So you can use minecarts actually as defense around your house. If you put just like 20 of them constantly running around your house, zombies will try to walk towards you and be sucked up and be stuck in the minecarts until the sun comes up. And that will be fun. Okay, and next we're going to go ahead and place 3 minecarts. Place down a pig. Place down a saddle. And we're going to use the carrot on a stick to lure the pig into the minecart. Actually, let's go ahead and actually ride the thing. Now we're gonna lower it into the minecart. Okay. As you can see, the pig is now in the minecart. I no longer need the carrot on a stick to drive the pig. Now you can actually drive pigs with arrow keys. Thing is, it's inverted. I am pressing backwards to go forwards, forwards to go backwards, left to go right, and right to go left. So you're inverted car. It's interesting. So if you're not used to complete inversion, it might be a little disorienting, but this is a car. You can effectively drive this around, and it's pretty interesting. It's very slow. There is no way to increase its speed at all, but it's an interesting thing. It's not something that's practical, but it's something that's quite interesting. There you go. Oh, you just get kicked out. Okay. And I think, guys, that is all that we can do in the form of minecarts. Well, technically, I can't say that's all you can do because I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. There's probably other things you can do that I missed. So you can find more tutorials online for different things you can do with roller coasters and whatnot. So yeah. I think I'm gonna end off the video here. Thank you guys for watching. And I guess I will see everyone in the next video. Oh wait, I did forget something. Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. One last thing with rails. If you're in a minecart, and I'm not going to build this because it would take too much time. I'm just going to tell you this. If you're in a minecart, you can drop a minecart from any distance. As long as it lands back on rails, you won't take fall damage from the fall. So that's something else you can do. Or if it lands in water, of course, you won't take fall damage. So, although I think if it lands on land, you will take fall damage. So, that's something else you can do with minecarts. That's just a final feature. And, as I said, I will see everyone in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.